Hey there. I'd like to welcome everybody to the Let's Talk Fishing video podcast. My name is Jay Angel. I'm going to be your podcaster for this evening. The first thing I'd like to do, man, I had a guy on, a really cool guy by the name of Kane Atwood from Kane's Jigs. Guy from a small town in Illinois. He sent me a package. And if a guy's nice enough to send me a package, I'm going to be nice enough to show the folks what I got sent. And I have, oh, look at this. Look at those eyes, Travis.
Yeah, it's nice. Good detail.
Man,
Nice and red.
Crappie City, man. And this is old school right there. Remember the Marabou jigs? I'm dating myself here, but, man, I love that stuff.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kane Atwood. Thank you. Appreciate you there, buddy. We're going to have you on again. And not because you sent me stuff, because you're a good guy. Man, okay. Travis, how do you pronounce your last name, Travis? I forgot to ask you.
Foulks, just like, that's all, folks, from Porky Pig. Same thing.
That's all, folks. Thank you, Travis, man. Thank you for, if I don't get anything else right, I want to pronounce the guest's last name correctly. Hey, Cajun Rob from, actually, he lives anyways, Cajun Rob, a good friend of mine, just said, nice hat, Travis.
Yeah, go Vols. I was born and raised in Knoxville. I tell people this all the time, but we lived so close to the stadium, but we grew up really poor, so we would take the TV out onto the flat roof we had.
Yeah.
And we could watch the game and watch the fireworks go off on the stadium behind it. So my childhood consisted of like rooftop evenings with pizza and family and just watching fireworks. So anytime there's a Vols game on, I'm there for it. I'll come off the water early to watch my Vols some days. Now, if they're playing UTEP or somebody, not happening, but, the good games, yeah, we're going to be home for those.
That's awesome. Anyways, Travis, tell me about SCYak.
Yeah, SCYak is a first-year club here in South Carolina. I founded it last year. I established the idea when I was fishing with my buddy Kyle Davis. There's a lot of turmoil in clubs around us that we were in, and just things that you find with grassroots clubs sometimes. They're smaller, they're shotgun ramps, and that can lead to some things. Yes. And I ultimately decided, every TD always says, hey, if you don't like what's going on here, go start your own club. And I'm the kind of guy that says challenge accepted. So and I've got a specific way. I got a specific way I like to fish, and I think it translates well to what the guys that fish SCYak are looking for. We're the only club that has, like limited restrictions, dual motors. We love that. I don't see why some clubs are so opposed to modern technology. I think there's always going to be a purist component that needs to be in this sport, but I'm all for limited restrictions. Use the catch board you want. As long as I don't catch you trying to cut that sucker down, you're fine. As long as it's one piece. Nobody should be telling you whether you should be running forward-facing sonar. They shouldn't be telling you how many motors you can have. As long as you're not doing anything that compromises safety of yourself or others around you, fish your way. If you like to troll, you can have a line in the water when you're moving areas. Use your trolling techniques. I feel like we've got to the point in tournaments that we just want to be restrictive for the sake of being restrictive, when in reality, just get out of people's boats and let them fish, man. As long as they're showing up and having fun and what they have is available to everybody, so be it, yeah.
Well, I couldn't agree with you more. Guys, if you want more information about SCYak, the crawler on the bottom of the screen, SCYak.com. Just go ahead, man. It's a small organization. I'm sure you personally answer emails or messages, don't you?
Oh, yeah, multiple times a day. What's great is our community is really healthy. When you come to our presentations, it's very open, very friendly, very sociable. There's a brotherhood here, and I know that gets thrown around a lot with clubs.
It does.
But none of our guys are bickering. None of our guys are fighting. None of our guys are being restrictive with information. They're inviting you to come sit with them. Our last presentation, we were at Break on the Lake. We didn't have anything formal. We didn't have a space for banners. it was about 13 of us just sitting around a couple of tables side by side, eating some food together, swapping our days, and then doing awards and celebrating our winners with a couple minutes for them to talk.
See,
You
I fish tournaments like that down here now. In fact, there's a
Right.
couple places that welcome, a second guy in the boat because he has to pay full price. And you're not I'm not a co-angler. I'm not an amateur or whatever the heck they want to call you. I'm just the second guy in the boat. We're not a team. We're fishing against each other. Just somebody agreed to let me on. As an outdoor communicator, that's my favorite part of being an outdoor communicator, is I can fish with guys like you, Travis. If I call you, hey, Travis, I know you have a yak, and I won't fit in your yak, but
Yes, you would.
okay, so then you have a Roy.
Yeah, I have the modified XTR. I told you I'm a no restriction guy. I have a power drive on the front and an NK300 on the back. We can either get you another seat for the front, or we can strap a bucket up there and do it poor-man style, and we can cover some water, man.
Roy from USA Kayak Fishing Magazine has an enormous kayak like that. He said I could fit on his yak,
Yeah, he's either got an XTR or the Tactical Pro. Those are two phenomenal kayaks right now, and I love the direction our kayak market is going. I speak about no restrictions and fishing the way you want. Modern day kayaks, the way they're being distributed and sold with the access plates, the dual motor capability, the captain bridge station there, we're in a wild world of the kayak fishing where I think we're either in adapt or get left behind in the competitive fishing club. So I'm happy we're on the edge.
I think that's awesome, man. I started this podcast back in 1997. No, not 1997. I started guiding in 1997. My goodness. I started this in 2019. And one of the first interviews I did were the guys who fished the first ever Bassmaster Kayak Series Classic, where they actually got to go up on the classic stage and get their awards. That was just so cool to see that. To see kayak fishing has gone that far.
It's evolved, and there's a lot of talk right now from people who've been into the industry a while. They'll talk about the way sponsors no longer engage with the industry like they once did. Everything is about influencer and marketing, and that's how you get your foot in the door with them. It's just an evolving game, right? It changes all the time, and we can change with it. And I'm game. I like that they're buying into what I like, which is no restrictions, no limits, and everybody just, yeah, I like it. I like where the industry is and where it's going. Despite people saying it's declining because of the sponsorship handling, I love it.
No, I don't think it's declining, but I think you hit the nail right on the head. It's evolving. It's changing, and people don't like the way it's changing. I like the way it's changing, that people are interested in guys like me and you.
Yeah.
I started. Go ahead.
If you're putting your faith into big box brands to keep your club going and to keep supporting, you're putting your faith in corporate dollars. If you want to put your faith somewhere, you put them in the 4-7 Lures, the Muddy Bays, the kayak cushion companies. You talk to Dwayne at Tourney X and you say, hey, man, what can we do to work together? Because these are local brands that are making it big, and that's the people you want to get on that train and ride with. But you got to be able to market and influence the products for them. So make sure you like the product. You get a product you don't like, it's not going to work for you with them. So,
well, people ask me what it takes to, particularly, fathers ask me, what does it take for my son to get into the professional fishing world? I said, have him go to college and get a degree in marketing.
Yeah, 100%.
Yes, absolutely. I got a degree in science, and that does not help me in the fishing industry.
I know a guy who's a really good angler. He's an absolute monster. He's an absolute hammer. And I know he's expressed frustration with me about the lack of things that have come his way. And it's really nothing. And it's nothing he's done wrong, but his social media presence is no. And in today's market in the fishing industry, you better have YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, something to where you're generating some eyeballs and some kind of marketing, because that's what they want. They want you taking photos and videos they can share and repost. Saves them so much money when you do that. They'll be more than happy to put you on your team if you can demonstrate you love their product and you can create content that people want to engage with more. So.
See, and that's where I help people. I help people get that social media exposure that they so desperately need in today's professional fishing world. And my biggest soapbox is, we talked about this before the show, buy local, spend your money local, man, and go with the smaller companies. And by the smaller companies, I mean something not owned by Pure Fishing. And yes, I just said that. But,
Yeah.
4-7 lures, man, if we don't patronize those companies, if we don't support them, professional fishing as we know it is either going to have to change or die. Because guys, you just can't afford $150,000 a boat that all in it's $150,000 and 9 tournaments a year without industry support.
You're right. You're right. But the way we got to get it is from these local guys, like we're saying, though, because the big guys, you're disposable, man. You're a name and a number. Yep. They can hit you and move on. But you get in good with these local guys and you support local, that investment comes back to you, right? Guys like me, I've got a small YouTube channel. I'm never going to be big, but I'm big enough that in my corner, I have some respect. I don't want to say pull, but I have some people who back me and take care of me.
You do,
because I set my corner in my market and I understand what it is and I need to appeal to that. So,
well, when I asked Philip from 4-7 Lures, who should I have on to promote your products, he didn't skip a beat, man. He's like, Travis. Then the next thing you know, I have a notification on my phone with your contact information.
Yeah.
And guys, I tried to have Travis on. I got stuck in traffic for 4 hours. 4 hours I didn't move. I had to call Travis. I can't make it, man. He's like, that's cool. We'll reschedule. Then next week, Travis notifies me on Thursday morning. Man, I can't make it. Oh, man, okay. That's cool. I'll get somebody else. No big deal. So then I had somebody scheduled the next week. So Travis, finally.
Yeah. No, I'm happy we finally got it worked out and to be here and talking SCYak, 4-7 lures, and just kayaking in general. I love this stuff.
I want to show you guys something, man. We're going to move on to the next topic, which is my favorite topic, which is fishing lures.
Yeah.
Anybody who's been watching my show for any amount of time at all knows, man, I love my fishing lures. Look at this thing. I can't wait to get this thing out there. I have it skin hooked right now. I'm going to try that first. That's the latest thing in wacky worming. But look at that lure, guys. I throw that lure in there and skip that around weightless with an EWG hook. Man,
that is the 3-inch flex fin shad in white, and it's a replica version of the SCYak models that sell for like insanely expensive. You can get them here local for a fair price.
Right there, dudes. See, just what he said. And yes, you're exactly right. This is a SCYak, man. And I love the SCYak.
Yeah.
Look at that thing.
And they're wonderful. They're wonderful. I like to throw that true white offshore on like a free rig, and then up shallow, I'll put it on a drop shot or even a shaky head sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
But I like more of the green pumpkin with a blue flake up shallow for like a bluegill, and just that white anywhere offshore, man.
And I want to show you guys something else. For you walleye fishermen and smallmouth bass fishermen, you get this in brown or black, and what drop shot it like this. Look at. Let me put it back here. Tell me that doesn't look like. Oh no! Sorry, I just lost connection there for a second. Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's coming back. I didn't know if it was you or me.
It was me. There's a storm coming through.
I got it earlier. It took my power out for a little bit. So good luck with it. It's a tough.
Well, if I lose you, Travis, just keep talking. Or if you lose me, I mean. But look at that, guys. This is beautiful. This is beautiful. You can either use it vertically or horizontally. And you can even use it vertically, nose hook that thing on a drop shot. There's so many different things. You can Texas rig, Carolina rig, wacky rig.
Chatterbait trailer. It's a mean chatterbait trailer.
Oh, yeah. Could you imagine that?
Yeah.
Just going crazy like that with a chatterbait going. Hee.
That's what I
That's
use
a
when
good
I go to
idea.
Santee Cooper. Yeah, I put that on a chatterbait anytime I go to Santee Cooper and I'm working the grass lines.
Do you throw? Okay, do you throw that through the cypress knees?
Not really. I'm more of a spinner guy up there, but when I get down to the grass lines, somewhere more toward the main lake side, and I'm picking that apart, love just to run across the edges or find a hole and throw it into it because so many times they'll hit it on the fall with that tail wiggle on the way down. So
That would be exciting, man. You'd have to have some powerful equipment to pull a 5-pounder out of that grass.
yeah, you probably want 25-pound braid for your bass equipment. That's normally about where you go. Some guys will go heavier than that, but to me, man, if he breaks you off on 25-pound braid, that's a mean guy.
Yeah, well, the reason I use 50 is just because sometimes it gets wrapped around those cypress knees, and all you can do is just hold on. You don't want to try to horse them out of that. Just hold on and start moving, and hope that you can get close enough that you can. And sometimes it works itself out, but I'm very rarely lucky.
I tell you, man, some things Philip has given me that I like to throw here lately. These are new from him. I don't know if he's showed you these or not, but these are his floating trash toads. Let me just see it.
Nice, man.
Yeah, man, and
I'm
they've got
looking at
those nice.
that. How do you rig that thing?
Well, there's a couple ways, right? If you're doing a buzz bait, I think you just want to rig it straight standard, flat end, and let
Yeah.
those feet kick. Put it on something on the back. Like this is a buzz bait I have rigged up with one of his lures, as you see why.
Yep.
But you could put it on the back of that flat, and it'll give you a nice kick. And these float, like I said, if we throw it in some water, it's either going to float or if the angle hits right, sometimes it will sink. Just like a Cinco that's non-salted, they normally float, but if you hit the angle right, they'll go down. But as soon as he gets back up, he's kicking those feet, and it sounds almost like a whopper plopper. So you get that gurgle, 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 and they'll hit it. My favorite way is just a weightless hook. Throw it out there. But if you're doing a weightless hook, because this frog, as you see, the bottom's the flat side, and then we've
Yes.
got the top that's rounded, turn it over. And that way, when he goes to sink, the weight is going to be at the bottom. The flat top can be over the top. The water will break through the nose because it's curved up, and you'll still get that kicking action on a
So
weightless
what
frog.
kind of hook are you using with that for weightless?
Just a size 5 EWG.
EWG. Okay.
Yeah, and you're just feeding it right through him and just letting him kick on back. Just a kicker frog. That's
Oh, that is
they're
awesome, man.
yeah. Early morning in the summer, I like that. As the day progresses, though, if they're chewing good and I want to get something bigger, but the bite's not turning on, he's got these giant magnum size 6-inch swim bait. That's like a herring imitator there. Or if I'm going out deep for the brush, he's got these wonderful speed worms, turbo worms,
Speed
turbo
worms.
tails.
You were talking about Florida, man. Florida boys love their speed worms. How about this thing? This is just
yeah,
an old classic, man. You can't be without this. There's like we were talking. There's so many things you can do with this thing.
And you know what I love about a crawl, man? A lot of guys after the spring spawn for bass will put their crawls away, man. But you can fish a crawl year round and get good bites.
People also tell me that about wacky rigging. Well, it only works after the water worms. No. Down here, I would have to rig 12 months out of the year.
Yeah. He's got some good for wacky rig. Have you seen his core shots from
Show me.
before? It's where the center is injected. Let me see. It's kind of weird to do on the camera, but it's got like an orange center and then a translucent layer coming out. Let me see if I got another color here that might show. That's the only core shot I have on the table. But his wacky rig colors are outstanding.
Oh, look at that. When he was asking me about colors for wacky rigging, I said, well, down here, it's all about blue-black. Up north, you can use any color up north for wacky rigging as long as it's green. And not bright green. Just for you guys, I know a lot of you guys that watch me like to fish for speckled trout. Look at that color right there, man.
Yeah.
And this is, this is just the quintessential. Look, one thing I like about the way he does this, his swim baits. Man, if I could get this, look at that paddle tail. That's going to push a lot of water, and that's what it's all about, is making vibrations as you go through the water. But also you have to have the right color. And also we were talking about smallmouth bass. In clear water smallmouth bass, this was my favorite. Anything that looked like this in clear water smallmouth bass, like up in Green Bay or Lake St. Clair, Lake Erie. I love this color.
A good one. It's almost like a disco candy. I've got one similar to that from him that I use for bass fishing. It's his hex worm that you can just peel off, but very similar in the color pattern on.
So that's just like a do nothing worm that I would probably wacky rig that thing.
You can shaky head, you can wacky rig it if you want to go a little smaller. Ned rig it, because what's great about these hex worms he makes, if you want them smaller, because he's got large ones too, like there's his larger one.
Do you know if that
say
floats?
You want it to be like 2-inch, grab and twist. And then you've got a small half that you could use for either a trailer or an even smaller Ned rig or something. And then you've got the half left. And it's just perfect twist every time. If that lure gets messed up, you just twist off and keep going until you have nothing left.
Or a crappie lure.
Yeah. I mean, literally, it's one of those things you could reuse it all day and never have to use a different lure. Just keep pulling off hex heads.
So why don't we talk about your fishing? So you live over there by Sandy Cooper. Would you consider with all these soft plastics, I would guess that you're probably a finesse guy.
I am a finesse guy. Top water and finesse are kind of things I like to go to immediately. Very different, I know.
Yes.
But man, I'll always come out with a walking bait, a spook of some sort. See if that's starting first. The frog, I like to try that early under the laydowns. A popper, I like to come out with the Berkeley Chopo. If it's top water, I'm loving it. But then finesse fishing, like as soon as that top water turns off, I like to put a worm. I love the shaky head. I love the wacky rig. I love the drop shot, like throwing these little dice lures on a drop shot. Those things that cost so much.
Lure. How do you rig that?
I just drop shot it straight through with the hook. There's little pits in it that are probably kind of hard. Yeah, you can probably see that there. It looks like little dice. They're gambler's dice. Yeah. But I hook right through those, and you can let them sink like on a wacky rig, or you can drop shot, or whatever, man.
Do you skin hook it when you're drop shotting?
Yeah. Do they what?
You skin hook it?
Yeah. I just skin hook it. Like I'll go right through one of the little gambler dice hose there and pull right through. Actually, let's say this was the hook. Just kind of ignore the lure there. I would just come right through it and have it sitting on.
And just barely hook it, yeah.
Yeah, and just drop shot it, let it hang there, because it does all the work. You just let it flare out, and the current's going to move the little tentacles around. So
you don't do any
smallmouth candy. Yeah, you can do some wiggling, you can do some dragging, some slow rolling, because at the end of the day, you're going to get like a jig action with those tentacles if you're moving it, right? The water is just going to push it back. You let it go, it's going to flare back out. There's no wrong way to do it. Honestly, a lot of the times, though, I just throw it out there and get tight line on the bottom, let it get about 12 inches off in clear water, closer if it's muddy, because they'll get closer to the bottom for the sound. But just let it sit there. And if they come by, they're going to suck that up.
Yeah.
That's just how.
I don't know what it is. Let's see if that's food.
Yeah. Hey, it looks foreign. I don't like it. Use the red color, man. If you throw red long enough, you're going to get some good bites, because they hate red. They hate scupper nog. They don't see it the way we see it, but they can't stand that foreign color that they're not used to seeing. And I know people say it looks like a bleeding fish. No, it's just infuriating to them. Some color, black's another one. They don't like the color black, man. They will hit it hard every time.
I can tell you, when I was guiding, the only hooks I would use were size 4 Gamakatsu octopus hooks, red, and not the red that could chip off. I wanted the color red on that hook, And I would fish with guys who would swear, that I was full of crap. And we would fish right next to each other, casting, within a foot of each other, and I got more bites every time. I told them I'm not a better fisherman. I may fish more than you, but I'm not the best fisherman, but I work hard at it. And also, you got to have the right thing. And I completely agree with you. Guys, there was this big trend a couple years ago. Oh, pre-spawn red. I think yes, but I will use red all year long, particularly down here where they primarily feed on crawfish.
But here in the winter, if you're not throwing red around bridges, riprap, hard bottom rock in the winter, you're not doing it right. I mean, that's a staple for us. A good example is the rock crawler MD55 and like a red river or peanut butter, any of those colors that have any kind of red hue to them. We'll throw those all year long. You can crank an MD55 all through winter and not doing the crazy slow crank, just kind of casually coming in to stay a little warm. It's a magic color. Red should be used all year round, in my opinion.
Oh yeah. Another color I really like is pink, which is a variant of red. It's just like red light.
Another one they just can't stand. And again, Steve Rogers, not to plug another channel for free, but he has a great video on what these bass see color-wise underwater. Purple is a green pumpkin to them, if we're being honest. The red is almost transparent. It almost looks like a transparent fish to them, and they hate that. It's wild how the colors change, and I think once you see a video like that, it's easier to understand why would I want to tie on this big orange worm for bass, because they hate them.
Well, tell me how many fish you've caught on that color.
Yeah. I mean, every bass is gonna like that watermelon red flake, but
watermelon red flake.
You'll get a lot of crazy bites with like an orange or a pink. And this little small one, I drop shot. That's Phillips minnow. Look at that. I'm holding it still. I'm not shaking my hand. His tail just doesn't stop. That's a pink one, like a bubble gum. You could drop shot that all day long, anywhere on clear water, even stained water. I don't know if I'd go muddy, but clear water.
I would use that around here as long as the water was. Well, I don't go fishing in the chocolate milk because I don't fish tournaments anymore. So, I'm not forced to fish.
I look at these with salt water, and I could totally see like a double drop shot setup out there working. Now, somebody who doesn't saltwater fish a lot, that's always a setup I find interesting, is a double drop shot. So.
I don't like to use the double rigs in the salt because you never know what you're going to hook into. And if you get two Jack Crevalles, just grab your reel, because you're going to be pulling those things in for the next 45 minutes. And I'm an old man, and my body's broken, and I have to conserve my energy. If I hook into a shark, I grab the reel.
Right.
As much as I hate to tie hooks because my eyes don't work anymore, it's just
better than fighting a shark. That's for sure. So.
I hate sharks. I mean, they're very, very necessary to the ecosystem. But we need them, but I don't have to catch them.
Right.
I know I showed this already, but this is just a staple. This is this just reminds me of the days of the man's jelly worm, and it still works. And I love this color, just like we were talking about colors. Man, up north, I used to say when I was guiding, you can use any color for bass as long as it's green. And of course, I had umpteen different colors, and I loved them all. But my gosh, this is a good color. Just do that pepper flake in there, and this too is for 7 lures.
Yep.
Thank you, Philip, man. Dude, you make some great lures. I love when these things showed up. I was just sitting there all night long looking at them, and my wife's like, "You are obsessed."
Yeah, lure junkie. I love him too. I mean, he makes my signature color, and we've talked about kind of the more exotic things, but honestly, man, just a 7-inch finesse worm. That's my watermelon with orange flake, red clay lake killer. I helped him get it just for Lake Hartwell.
That looks like a trick worm, man.
Yeah,
is that like a trick worm?
Yeah. Staple of a tackle box, trick worm. Texas rig, shaky head, wacky, drag it, whatever you want to do, rip it down. You got to have finesse worms, and Philip makes a great one.
That's awesome. That is absolutely awesome. So, hey, Travis, Do you have
Yep.
any shout outs you'd like to do?
I do. I want to thank Philip, of course. He's been supporting me through my YouTube channel for about a year and a half now, I think. Supporting my kayak club for a year. He's the club's title sponsor, so thank you, guy. Uh, I got to thank my friends out there at Muddy Bay, Blaine, Mr. Tim, Kyle. Those guys really took care of me over the course of the last few months. They put me on their pro fishing team. They've got me in this XTR 130 with this awesome NK 300. We've got a demo day coming up. If anybody's in the Columbia, Deer Island area, Prosperity, South Carolina, August 9th, you can come out and demo Tactical Pro 128, several XTRs, RVRs, PWRs, new canoes, Crescents, and we're talking fully rigged, motorized, and ready to test. So come visit us for that at Muddy Bay, the Muddy Bay Outpost. If you follow me on Facebook, Travis Foulks, you'll find information there. And the last one is Watt Cycle Power. They've been supporting me through my YouTube for a little bit as well. They hooked me up with a 12-volt, 100 amp hour trolling motor, and from there became a club sponsor for us. And there's club sponsors I like to thank also, but really, if we're talking about me and the people who back my channel or me directly, that's it for now. But I know I've got at least one more coming next year that's going to be backing me. Want to thank them, and one more guy.
Go ahead, man.
This guy is crazy popular in the area, but I wouldn't be the kayak bass angler I would without him. There's a gentleman up here named Bennett the Kid Knoll, and the story of my YouTube, Jay, is I didn't know anything about fishing when I started it, like absolutely nothing. And people would show up and they'd watch here. I'm talking like 1 to 5 views on some videos and being happy with it. And all along comes this snarky kid who is 18 years old, and he leaves a comment that most people might get upset about, but he tells me I'm just throwing SHIT at the bait. And I think I've got a troll here. No, what I had was next level elite. This guy, Bassmaster Classic, multiple time hardware winner. He's only like 19, 20 years old. He's on the Clemson Bass team, wins all of our tournaments. He's taken me under his wing since then. He gives me tips every now and again. He'll take me out on the boat, and every time he does, I have a skill progression. And I've cashed some hardware because of his leadership, and I've never really thanked him in public. So Bennett, thanks, bud. I know it's not my business to tell people how we fish together, but you really influenced my life, and I wouldn't do podcast or be fishing anymore probably if it wasn't for you. So thanks, bud. I appreciate you.
That's an awesome story. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah. Good people like Bennett.
Like that.
Good people like Bennett are the reason I have my community mentality. He gives back to the sport and everybody, and I like to try and pass that spirit. Our club doesn't compete with anybody, especially the big hitters in the area. We schedule around them, and this is a community. The bass fishing is a community. It's how they should be. So I love it.
Absolutely. And I only like I said, I love to promote people like you.
Yes,
just
sir.
People who just fish because you have a passion for fishing. And and you want to show other people how to do it. You want to have a community of fishermen. And that's really what Let's Talk Fishing is. It's a community of fishermen who just like to hear each other's stories. And like I told you, I have rules, but the only reason I have those rules is because I want this to be a friendly place that people can go and just unwind after a hectic work day with horrible things going on in the world. This is just,
I've always been what I consider a problem solver, not to my own horn, but I get multiple problems brought to me from every angle, just from the way I'm involved in the community. When I'm on the water, man, that's my time. I kind of ignore all that, and I'm just out there. It's me and the fish, and we're trying to figure it out. And it's me versus nature, if we're being honest, and that's how I like it.
It's your knowledge versus the fish's senses.
Yes. They win a lot. But
they win a lot.
every now and again, I get a tally mark on my side. So
yes, like I told you, when I was up in the front of the boat throwing a 6-inch swim bait like you were showing, and I hooked into something huge, and there was that big swirl. I don't know what it is yet. Hand off the rod to one of my guests. Well, doesn't that bother you? No, man. I connected with a big fish. That means I did something right.
Now let this guy have the fun of reeling it in.
Yeah, so. You reel it in, man. Well, what if I lose it? No problem. We'll try to get another one.
There's other fish out there. There were for a while. I felt like every fish I caught that was over 4 pounds, I'd lose, and now I'm down to about 50% of them. So you get better, you practice. There's more fish out there, man. I'm still looking for that double-digit guy, but maybe in the spring. I feel good. The winter or spring is going to be my best bet.
Well, I've been bass fishing for almost 50 years now, and my biggest bass to date, even fishing down here, fishing in Texas, fishing in Florida, most of it's in Illinois, Wisconsin, Michigan, Minnesota, 7 pounds.
My biggest is only 7 pounds, 22 ounces. I've got it twice though. Once on Lake Murray, once on Lake Russell, which by the way, if you guys are watching, you fish South Carolina, you sleep on Lake Russell. Lake Russell has tanks in it. If I can catch a 7.5 pounder in Lake Russell, you can catch a 7.5 pounder in Lake Russell. I tell people that all the time, but yeah.
Well, hey, Travis, I hate to do this to you, but that's all the time we have for tonight. And guys, it is Thursday night. Make your plans. Go fishing this weekend. Remember, you only get to do this life once. Have some fun.
Yeah.
And Travis, stick around for a minute or two afterwards.
Will
I'd
do.
like to talk to you. And guys, thank you so much for listening, for tuning into the Let's Talk Fishing podcast.
Thanks, guys.